I've really enjoyed making love to your ears.
Oh, it's official. Assuming the Jets and Packers can work out a deal for compensation, Nathaniel Hackett will start making love to Aaron Rodgers' ears in New Jersey City, New York City, New York, wherever the Jets play.
I think that you have beautiful ears. They fit very nicely, so I would say to be an erotic.
Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words.
Aaron Rodgers announced on the Pat McAfee show that he intends to play for the Jets.
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Pat had over 400,000 people watching while Rodgers made his decision, which definitely doesn't make me feel insecure as a football YouTuber at all.
I've really enjoyed making love to your ears.
Rodgers also took the time on McAfee's show to announce that in exactly 13 years, he too will be suing Pat McAfee. Or will he be suing the current Colts punter? While Rodgers didn't say anything officially until today, it feels like he's been a Jet longer than Nathaniel Hackett was a Broncos head coach. And yes, Hackett was a big reason Rodgers chose the Jets, to which Broncos GM George Paton said, "What the fuck, bro?" So I'm going to break down the Rodgers news, plus go through the other massive moves that were made in free agency just the last day or two. There's some big name players who got cut and some big name players who made their nut. Rhymes. That's good sports. Do it. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. And with my code Thatsgood60, you will get 60% off plus free shipping. That's an incredible discount to try something I use regularly. HelloFresh is actually cheaper than shopping at the grocery store. And I'm not sure if you've noticed lately, but eggs are basically more expensive than a franchise QB. Personally, I love HelloFresh because I can be brain dead from a lack of sleep and working too much and cook chef-crafted dinners for my family without using my brain, since HelloFresh gives you step-by-step instructions for every meal. And if you like improvising when you cook, you're still able to do so. And if you're following a specific eating plan, you can customize your meals by swapping proteins or sides or adding proteins and or veggies to any dish with options for organic chicken and organic beef upgrades. I made this chicken pasta in about 35 minutes, and I did it on my busiest workday of the week. On 4 hours of sleep, I literally picked the worst day of the week to shoot this promo, but it was a breeze because HelloFresh is that foolproof. For effortless meals, go to HelloFresh.com and use code Thatsgood60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Hopefully, after you cook for your family, though, they don't relegate you to the kids' table. After exploring trades for DeAndre Hopkins and Jerry Jeudy, the Patriots signed Chiefs receiver Juju Smith-Schuster on a 3-year, $33 million deal, and now I'm officially worried DeAndre Hopkins will be joining the Kansas City Chiefs. The Lions signed running back David Montgomery, which means some NFL team will win the personality and 1-yard touchdown rushing lottery when they sign Jamal Williams.
First swag Kazakage, leader of the hidden village of the Den.
First swag Kazakage, leader of the hidden village of the Den.
Look, if Aaron Rodgers really does have a wish list, I'd move Jamal Williams to the top of it. Who knows when Breece Hall will be 100% ready coming off that ACL injury. And even when Breece Hall is healthy, Jamal Williams is the best 2 in the running back 1-2 combo the NFL has to offer. The Dallas Cowboys have officially released Ezekiel Elliott. Now this is a big move for Jerry Jones, releasing Elliott from his contract just a mere 10 years early. The real question is, will Ezekiel Elliott test the free agency market as a running back or as a center? Elliott on a reasonable contract will actually be a good thing for whichever team signs him. The Cowboys also landed corner Stephon Gilmore for just a 5th-round draft pick. Gilmore started every game last season, picked off a couple passes, and had 11 passes defended. I do like this move for the Cowboys and Indy. The Colts aren't ready to win now, and the Cowboys are, so they pair a playmaking corner like Trayvon Diggs with a more steady corner on the other side in Gilmore. Gilmore is 32, but played pretty damn good ball last season for Indy despite age and injury concern heading into the season. A week after granting him permission to seek a trade, the Philadelphia Eagles plan to release corner Darius Slay. That's a huge fucking move. Philly did re-sign James Bradbury to a 3-year deal, who is most famous for tugging on Juju Smith-Schuster's jersey at the end of the Super Bowl. But in a very bizarre turn of events, the Eagles are footing the bill for about $22 million over the next couple years, all for Slay to be on another team, and all without trading him. I don't know what that says about Slay, on or off the field, but I'm shocked to see this happen. Like they literally chose to get nothing for Darius Slay, who is now the best corner available in free agency once he becomes available. The Eagles also signed running back Rashad Penny to a 1-year deal. I love this move for Philly. If, for just one season, Penny's body doesn't betray him, he's an insane back. He's rarely healthy, but if you look at this chart, he's all the way up in the corner, all on his own, which means he's really, really good. Now, Penny joins Kenneth Gainwell and giant killer Boston Scott in a running back room that will now total less than $4 million in salary for 3 backs. Quarterback Baker Mayfield is going to the Buccaneers on a 1-year, $8.5 million deal. Mayfield will now compete for the starting job with former 2nd-round pick Kyle Trask, and both of them will eventually lose it to Tom Brady when he once again loses interest in his family. Losing interest, just like his FTX investments. In the most Josh McDaniels move possible, the Raiders have dealt away a talented playmaker for no good reason, sending uber athletic tight end Darren Waller to the New York Giants, and all it cost New York was a 3rd-rounder. Apparently, Darren Waller was upset with Josh McDaniels, who leaked his wedding to the media, something he and his fiancée Kelsey Plum had not publicly announced. Then Plum roasted McDaniels on Twitter, stating he was probably mad he wasn't invited to the wedding. She later had to clarify that she was just kidding around, but I do think Josh McDaniels was mad that Kelsey has a better arm than his current new QB, Jimmy G. Sorry, Jimmy, I'm not trying to take a cheap shot at you. She just has a great arm. Poor Jimmy, though. Welcome to Las Vegas. We just traded your 2nd-best receiving weapon. And the running back you'll be handing the ball off to? Well, he thinks shit is sad for real. State of the Raiders? Shit is sad for real. Josh Jacobs, not happy, and I can't imagine this will please Devontae Adams, who just saw his friend Derek Carr become a Saint last week. But this is what you sign up for when you hire Joshy McDaniels. I don't know why anyone expected anything other than an absolute train wreck. Oh shit, I probably can't say train wreck anymore, can I? As for the Giants, they needed a big target for Daniel Jones, and they got one. Daniel Bellinger was a nice find in the draft, but Darren Waller is a different beast that will line up at tight end and out wide for Brian Dable. I feel like Waller can have 10 TDs like Dawson Knox did in Dable's final year in Buffalo. The Panthers signed Andy Dalton, giving them their obvious quarterback of the future and making their #1 overall pick now largely irrelevant.
I've really enjoyed making love to your ears.
All right. Aaron Rodgers. He becomes the first NFL QB to get a jersey swap with video. Oh God, that looks too real. We are all doomed. Now, Rodgers did reveal he was 90% sure he was going to retire before his darkness retreat. But after 4 days alone in the dark, he realized he still wanted to play. So, if you have a Hall of Fame QB considering retirement, if you're an NFL GM, just lock them in a dark room for 4 days and watch as they recommit to the craft. Now, it's never fun to lose an MVP QB, and the Packers are used to seeing one Hall of Famer replaced by another. And while I hope Jordan Love is great, I would not bet on one NFL franchise having 3 Hall of Fame QBs in a row. That's just rude to all other fan bases. Now say what you will about Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach. Say he was bad, terrible, the worst, Urban Meyer without the sex appeal, a daily toll on my existence as a human, a slow motion car crash where every bone in my body felt like it was being broken over and over and over and over again while watching his fucking team play football. The biggest whiff the state of Colorado made since Lauren Bobart. Stick to sports. Fuck you. Say what you will about Hackett. Rodgers played 2 of his best seasons with Nathaniel on staff, and he was a huge reason Rodgers did go to the Jets. Personally, as horrible as the Broncos season was, I really do want to see the Nathaniel Hackett redemption story. He might not be the right guy to be a head coach, but I liked him, and so does Aaron. And he seemed like a nice dude. Now, after 18 years in Green Bay, 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers is intending to become a member of Gang Green. Speaking of, only 2,386 people and counting have died of gangrene while waiting for this trade to happen. Rodgers is following in the path laid out by his one-time non-mentor, Brett Favre, and now would be a good time to stop following Brett Favre's path. Now, it's been reported that the Packers are not looking for multiple first-round picks for Rodgers, but I bet they do get a first from the Jets. 1. Maybe less if the Jets know Rodgers is only giving them 1 year, but even 1 year with Rodgers for, say, the Jets' 13th pick in this year's draft seems pretty fair. Now, this may end the highly disappointing Zach Wilson era in New York, and while the Jets say goodbye to a quarterback who can't be trusted around his mom's friends, that won't be a problem for the new guy. I hope the Jets stick with Zach Wilson, though, and see where he's at after a year or 2 behind Rodgers. Zach actually grew up idolizing Aaron Rodgers, and now he will get to see what his penis looks like in the shower. Every young man's dream is to one day see his hero naked. Zach Wilson in 9 games last year threw 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions for 1,688 yards. He played that poorly, and the Jets, with Wilson, still had a winning record. 5-4. Aaron Rodgers in a full season where he completed 10% more of his passes than Wilson, threw 26 TDs to just 12 picks, and finished with a losing record. So even if Rodgers doesn't return to MVP form, even if he hovers around where he played last year, and I think he'll improve, I think over 30 TDs, over 4,000 passing yards with the Jets, they will be significantly better at the quarterback position. But everyone already knew that, right? That's simple. But I wanted to put the numbers up there for context. Numbers don't tell the whole story, and the Jets are a little weird in that both Joe Flacco and Mike White played better than Zach Wilson last season, and yet when they were in at QB, the Jets were just 2-6, which means the worse Rodgers plays, the more games the Jets might win. Outside the numbers, Rodgers will be in command of the offense when he's on the field, something the team hasn't really had since that glorious year from Ryan Fitzmagic and Brandon Marshall and a little bit of Big Dick Decker in 2015. No more ghosts, no more sleeping with your mom's friends jokes, no more mononucleosis. As we all know, Rodgers has been immunized to that virus. The Jets' future is bright. The Jets were a good team that was ultimately crippled last season by their lack of a reliable passer. But even with that, the Jets were a playoff caliber team, and they haven't gotten worse this offseason. With that in mind, the Jets nailed their top picks in the 2022 draft: Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and the latter 2 will be immediately top targets for Rodgers. Whatever those rookies' recruiting grades were entering the draft, it wasn't high enough. Now, the Jets also signed Allen Lazard, Aaron's most trusted receiving target last year. Aaron Rodgers denied giving the Jets a list of demands, but they did give Lazard $44 million over 4 years with 22 guaranteed, which leads me to my final thought. The transition for Rodgers to the Jets should be smooth, as their offensive coordinator last season was Mike LaFleur, brother to Matt LaFleur, which means they were running a very similar offense to which Hackett will run, which is great for consistency and for Hackett coming in. Outside of Rodgers and Hackett possibly wanting Lazard, a guy like Allen can also help the other receivers quickly learn what Rodgers likes and expects of them, while also providing clarity on the offense they will run with Hackett. Now just freaking make it official, guys. Make it official so we can stop talking about it. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please, if you want to see my recap of the Broncos free agency, that video went live today. And Tom Grossi and I will be live for GPS tonight, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 Eastern, to break it all down.